Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the witching hour. I'm Alan. I am your host here at Movie Chat, and I'm in the Press Play Streaming Studios home studio. And unfortunately, I cannot tell you where my guest is from. I don't know what planet the witches are actually the primary source, but we have Miss Chantal. How are you this evening?
We're from Salem.
Salem? Is Salem?
That's where my coven comes from.
Your coven is from Salem. You're lucky to still be here because your coven would have been wiped out a long time ago. Yeah. So, Hocus Pocus tonight. Are you excited?
Oh, I'm really excited.
I bet you are because
I love this movie. I know you feel the opposite, but
well, you know, it's funny. I've said this to a couple of people this week. I purposely did not watch this movie for a really, really, really long time because I really just cannot stand some of the actors that are in the movie, and we'll get into that a little bit. But I did watch it this weekend, and I won't say that I hated it. I won't say that I liked it, but I won't say that I hated it. So I know that tonight's going to be like one of those where a bunch of people are going to be ganging up on me. We have some very special guests with us tonight, and I know that they're going to be like, trying to convince me that this movie is better than it is. So let's bring our first guest on, Miss Belzora. How are you, young lady?
I'm good.
That's sound of the crowd going nuts. You're doing well. So I'm to understand that this is a seasonal watch for you. Is that correct?
It used to be. I don't know why, but the last few years I just haven't. Maybe it's just because every year my Octobers get busier and busier and I don't get a chance, but it used to be. Yes, it should be still. So
should still be. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we have another guest waiting in the wings. Let's bring her on. Miss Zori. How are you, young lady?
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Well, you are fabulous. And I have to say, again, thank you so much for to both of you for coming on. You're always a pleasure to speak with. So, Zori, is this one of your go-tos this time of year?
It sure is.
Why do I?
It always is.
Why do I have a feeling that you would watch this movie any time of the year?
I would. Honestly, I would. I would just watch it anytime. But I usually do save it because now I can choose. Since I don't have cable, I usually choose for around Halloween to watch it.
Mm. Nice. Very nice. So I see that we have Sith Care Bear, one half of the Council of Joshes, in the chat room tonight. Yeah. Amanda is in the chat room tonight. Thank you very much for coming in. And I'm sure, as always, our chat room will get busier as we go on. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I believe that we have the greatest chat room on the internet. You guys are fantastic, and we love you.
Fabulous.
We love you. So, all right. So, ladies, give it to me. Why should I be a fan of this movie when I know good and well that I'm not going to be?
Because it's amazing.
Okay, amazing. Could someone give me a little more than that?
No.
That's all I needed. Okay.
You
good night, everybody. Have a great day.
He's like, bye. He's like, okay, I'm out. Y'all talk about it.
I'm gonna sit back here.
Well, look, I keep saying from a kid's perspective.
Yes.
Because that's when I saw this, was as a child. I think it's a very good Halloween movie for kids. It's not overly scary, even though I personally was petrified of Billy when I was younger. And now, of course, I love Billy, because how can you not love Billy?
Billy's one of the best parts of the movie.
Oh, I love Billy. But I personally, as you can tell, I've always had a thing for witches. I love everything about witches. I love the whole lore. I love the history behind it. So for me, anything that has to do with witches, I'm down for. Not only that, it's a Disney movie. So that in itself is enough for me.
Yeah.
Disney movie.
So was Escape from Witch Mountain, but that wasn't a great movie either.
What?
It was a good movie.
Escape from Witch Mountain is a classic.
And it is.
Classic Disney movie.
It is, but if you take your nostalgia glasses off and watch it as an adult, See, and
yeah, but that's your problem. Why are you watching that as an adult? You need to take that cap off and watch it through the eyes of a child.
Well, I wonder, do you think sometimes that you can't take the blinders off and watch it through the eyes of a child? I'm very childlike in my wonder of the world, I guess.
Really?
And I think that's why I enjoy, I can be just as adult as anyone else, but I think that's why I still enjoy these films, because I can watch it and like, I watched this when I was 17, and even at 17, I shouldn't have probably dug it like I did, but I did.
Right.
And I think when I watch it now, still, I'm like, it's still just as good as I remember it being. Like, I still love it for all the same reasons that I loved it then, but maybe even a little more now in some ways, because
I agree.
I didn't recognize how much I loved the brother-sister bond.
Me too.
When I was younger, and how much I, as a mom myself and older, that I'm like, oh, that's really cute. It's really deep. I like that. We need more of that bond these days. We don't see that as much.
I also like movies that happen over the course of like a night. You know what I mean? Like, this movie only happens over the course of like 24 hours.
Yes.
And I always like movies like that because they're more adventurous and it's a race against the clock, So I think it's a fun movie.
Welcome to the chat, both Dragon Buddy and Mr. Charles Westcott. We appreciate you being in here tonight. Thank you very much.
Hi.
So mean to poor Sarah Jessica Parker.
Well,
poor thing.
I've told this joke on this channel before.
I think she looks great in this movie. I don't know what everyone.
This is the best she's ever looked,
right?
Still, she Belzora, she would walk into a bar and the bartender would say, "Why the long face?"
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like I take such offense to this because I have a narrow, long face. It makes me.
No.
Do y'all think this about me?
No. I've never looked at you and thought, nay.
So here's the thing. Okay, I don't know why, but the way her forehead and nose are built, God bless her, right? It looks like her nose is like this long.
Well, you want to hear a fun fact? You want to hear a fun fact about her lineage? I do believe she has somewhere in her history that someone did stand trial.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. That was part of that 10 things you didn't know on the video I watched.
Makes sense.
Oh my god.
She has a witch-like look.
They contoured her well in this film.
I love you, Sarah
Jessica
Jessica Parker, by the way. I love your shoe line.
Yeah, nothing against you personally. I will say that, but I'm just not like her movies and so forth. I mean, my favorite with her was Square Pegs.
Oh, Square Pegs was great.
Oh, I wish I had my sunglasses on right now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let's all pretend these are sunglasses, right? Sunglasses.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Look at my eyes. No, don't look at my eyes. My wife and I will do that with each other. I do that with my wife all the time. I'll be wearing sunglasses. I'll look and go, babe, look at my eyes. No, don't look at my eyes. Square Pegs was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Bette Midler.
Okay, yeah, no.
She's the downfall of the movie.
Well, actually, as much as I don't like her, I'm like, yeah, good. This is a good role for you, this buck-toothed, ugly hag. Go ahead.
She was so over the top that it worked for that character.
Yeah, I agree.
It did.
Right.
It did.
I do. Chantal, do you
like her?
Do you? I don't care for her.
Yeah, I've never liked her.
Anyway, do you remember what Josh Irwin said about the movie last week? He made a very quick comment, and I don't know if you caught it, but I thought it was quite hilarious. In between him making fun of my age, by the way. If you weren't there,
can't be that far off from you.
No, he said, actually, I've got him by about 15 years.
Really?
Yeah, close to it. He said that he had read somewhere that they told Bette Midler to just go crazy, over the top, be as over the top as you can be. Well, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Or did she take that note?
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker, take as much cocaine as you can. Mm-hmm. They told the other lady to just be a puppy dog,
right?
But the kids are supposed to act like they're dealing with The Exorcist. And when you watch this movie from that point of view, you're like, "Yep."
All I can do is
so much funnier.
That's all I'm saying. best friend. All the adults in this movie are stupid. I love it though.
Yeah,
they're all
they
dumb.
are.
They're all dumb. The parents,
but they're
though,
also
I love the
witches being-
parents.
Oh, I love the parents. That whole dance scene. I love
The
that whole
dance scene
party
was
scene.
really
That's always
good.
my favorite. I always
Yeah.
love that scene.
I loved the makeup and the costume for the lead singer in the band.
Yeah, me too.
And it's funny. I had
Yes.
never seen this movie, but I had seen a little bit of that clip, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, "That was great." You know, what a great what because you guys probably know this. I played in and out of rock band since I was 16, and we would do Halloween shows, and all the time we would dress up like and stuff. And I was like, man, if I could figure out how to do that exact costume, that was just awesome. Just awesome.
It is a
Very
great costume.
good. Mm-hmm. Best part of the movie, costume wise.
Yeah, I
best
love
part
that
of the movie.
scene.
So Belzora, if you and I were sitting at a pub right now, and I was having my favorite not mixed alcoholic beverage, what would you tell me would be the main reason that I should be interested in watching this movie?
I don't think I would have a reason for you. I would just say if you didn't grow up with it, it's probably not something you're going to connect with as an adult. But rewatching it for this show, I still connect with it the same way I did when I was a kid. Mostly just maybe a little bit of it is kind of something that I won't ever have, the sibling connection thing. I grew up an only child, never was around anybody my age or close enough in my age range to be considered a sibling to me. But yeah, that's mostly it. And also the adorable cat, even though it looks bad in some areas because of the special effects, but still.
Binks.
Well, there was a couple of scenes in there that Binks was actually animatronic.
Right.
Hello, Hector. Welcome to the show, sir. Glad to have you along.
Which I think they then used on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That it's rumored, but it wasn't ever proven. But yeah, that was it was the same.
That's what I thought.
Either the same cat, or it was either the same cat, or it was made by the same person, kind of thing.
Right.
I think that's why, like what Belzora said, is why I like it. I mean, even though I have an older brother and sister, we have an age gap, and we were never close. Although I went to see this movie at 17 with my brother and his wife at the time, so that's who I saw it with in theater. Wow. But we still, my older brother and sister now, we don't have really much of a bond, to tell you the truth. And so, yeah, I think too, that's one of the reasons I like it. I love this sweet brother and sister protective bond throughout the movie.
See, I have a younger sister. We're 3.5 years apart, and I'm the older one. So for me, I definitely feel that connection of no one is going to come after my sister.
You'd have been Zachary Banks is what you'd have been. You'd have been Zachary.
Nobody comes after my sister.
With a TH.
Thackeray.
That
was so weird. Yeah, TH.
Thackeray. I don't know why I keep saying Zachary. I just want to say Zachary.
Because that's when I got older, and then I realized, look, they had to make it as old timey as possible, so they figured let's call him Thackeray. And
let's face it, the guy who wrote the script had a lisp. That was so bad. I'm so sorry. Dad joke. Dad joke.
That's a great joke. I love dad jokes. Come on now.
Oh.
By the way, Josh just mentioned one of my favorite movies, which is Teen Witch and The Worst Witch. But I love Teen Witch. I wasn't sure if anybody else was even aware of that movie. I've
heard of them. I don't know if I've watched them, but I've heard of them.
Can we sideline for just 1 second? Let's sideline this one for 1 second. Which movies has anyone in the room? And I'm sure that I know someone here. If I had to guess, she would be sitting. Let's see, in this corner, down here.
I can never get it right. I'm like in a mirror.
Have you guys seen the movie Witch?
The Witch.
Witch.
The Witch.
Witch. It looks like it's spelled VV. The way that you got it spelled, but
yes, I saw that. I saw it in the theater when it came out. I love that.
And
I've not seen it. I need to watch it.
It's a good one. Now,
no,
see,
the
I would
question
much,
was-
I love that movie.
I'd much rather be talking about that one tonight than the one we're talking about, but that's just because it's a good movie. So
No.
it's really
It's a
funny,
great
you know.
movie.
I'm sitting back here, and Dragon Buddy will actually agree with us on this one. But I'm sitting back here and I'm listening to you guys talk, and it's funny how every single one of you have mentioned the feeling that you get is something that's reminiscent of the first time you watched it when you guys were younger.
Kids.
Now keep in mind that my kids are your all's age. So I'm getting from their point of view the same thing I'm getting from your point of view. And my question is, and it's the question that I posed when I put this up, is it a good movie or is it just nostalgia?
It's a good movie. And you're not going to
Am I
convince me
freezing
otherwise.
up or you?
No, and I'm not
Okay.
trying to convince you otherwise. This is me being this, right? You guys know what this means, right?
Devil's advocate.
I'm purposely taking this role because I think it's an okay movie at best. I didn't turn it off when it was over and go, okay, that's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. There were times I was thinking that during the film, Bette Midler's singing, dancing scene. But
This is where I wouldn't call it a film. I know you're using the word interchangeably.
I am. No. If we were having a serious conversation, then
this is a movie.
Yeah, this is
it's definitely a movie. No, the Thing.
I see what you're saying, though, Alan.
Was a film,
right? But I see what you're saying. I think it surprises me that Hocus Pocus actually came out in theaters. I actually think it plays more like a made for TV kind of movie.
It bombed in the theaters.
I know it did. Yeah, it did.
And there was a reason for that.
Didn't it also release in July?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, that means
not good marketing on Disney part.
No, not at all. That was
it was filmed the right time.
Right.
But I think the situation was, again, because we were before the show started, we were kind of talking about how all the production issues and everything that happened there. And that's kind of why they released it when they did. I think they were just kind of running out of time on it.
Right.
But yeah, Dragon Buddy thinks it's more nostalgia, but silly, funny makes it rewatchable. And I could see that. I could see that. This is not a movie I would seek out to watch again, but if I was with somebody and said, hey, I'd really like to see this, or if it was like my grandson or what have you, I'd be like, okay, and I could sit and watch it, and I might need a little help to get through it.
Couple adult beverages to make it through the hour and 36 minutes.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, don't tell anybody. Hold a minute. Just want to be sure no one was over my shoulder listening. My grandson sat in my lap the other day, and we watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and he laughed through the whole thing. He's 9.
God, it's great.
9.
Yes.
And he laughed through the whole thing. It was great.
It's great.
Well, and it's one of those movies I've seen enough that I knew where the high tension stuff's coming, so I'd be poking at him and stuff. But it was great.
But that's something that you just said right there is another reason why I like this movie too, is because it is something that I feel like parents can watch with their kids. And again, speaking for somebody that I was of the age when this movie came out, like my parents love Hocus Pocus. They think it's a really cool movie. They think it's a great Halloween movie for kids, just like they love the movie Casper, which Casper really is not a great movie. But I saw that in the theater, and I think you're right. I think it might be more nostalgia, but a lot of people do see it now as a classic.
It has endured the test of time. It became more popular as the years, haven't gone by.
Freeform treats it like a Christmas story now. I mean, they play Hocus Pocus round the clock now during October.
Well, I could see, and again, I understand. I was just trying to look at it, again, from an outside point of view, because I remember my kids watching it and loving it. My wife, Maureen, had told me that she remembers, doing the dishes or what have you, and her kids, when they were real young, sitting on the floor and watching it, and her even the same reaction I did was she heard Bette Midler singing. She just rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh God!" But I will say this about that. We all agree that
she had to sing.
She had to, and I'm sure that was I don't think that was her, by the way.
I think that was her, honestly.
But it doesn't matter because that scene works.
No, it works. I just really do feel it was done to satisfy her ego because she was really big at the time with singing, and I can't stand her singing voice. It sounds like she's straining, and I hate that kind of. I can't stomach her.
To me, she has a if I'm going to go see a live play, that's the type of vocal that I would get.
Right.
So Charles makes a really interesting point. I compare it to Army of Darkness. It's a moment in time movie that has its very dedicated fan base. I say, Charles, you just may have hit the nail on the proverbial head.
Look, it's not Citizen Kane. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie.
When you watch Hocus Pocus and then one of the Addams Family movies, there's just no comparison. It's too silly and forced for me. The Addams Family movies are great.
Well, I'm not going to compare the two. They're two very different movies.
They're different animals.
They're very, very different. And second, I actually do think both now granted, I love both Addams Family's movies, but they are silly in their own right as well.
Yes.
But it works. I get it. It works.
And I think because they're in the Addams Family movies, they're relying on what has come before them, which is
they have source
the
material
TV series.
Love the TV show. Oh my god,
the TV show's great.
I've said this before. Morticia was my first crush, and then even before that, the comic strip. And if you guys have never seen any of those, you need to do some research. That is just beautiful artwork, and the humor is perfect in line with the TV show. I mean, it's great.
Those movies are perfectly cast too.
And here's the thing, because there was a balance between the silliness, and that's exactly
you're
why
imbalanced.
The movie. That's why the movie worked. Calm down.
I will not calm down.
I'm going to say that I love this comment from Charles. Spinal Tap. It's he loves it, and there's a select few that also like it. I did like it. I didn't think it was great as everyone thought it was, but I thought there were scenes in it that were better than everyone thought they were.
That's fine. Everything's subjective. Everyone.
Well, the reason I say that is playing in a band all those years. Where he walks out on stage and says, "Hello, Cleveland," and he's in the wrong town.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, this has happened. So because my amps go to 11.
Then these go to 11.
My amps go to 11.
Well, why don't you just make 10? Oh God.
But my amp goes to 11.
Oh my God.
He goes to 11.
Classic.
I can't remember what it was. Oh, while I have a moment, let's do a couple real quick shout outs. ATSW, the Escape Pod just did because someone brought it to my attention here in the chat, did an episode on Army of Darkness. I did not get to watch the live stream, but I did watch the replay today. And I will tell you, if you've never watched one of their episodes,
they're amazing.
I laughed myself silly. I was laughing out loud while driving. People probably were driving next to me going, "What in the hell is this guy doing?" He's probably
I loved it.
Major shout out to them.
Yeah,
we were in the chat and we were just like laughing because it was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Brady was like, he is full on Steven. He's like,
wait a minute. It's not on either shoulder.
Brady was coming in.
I know. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Oh my God, it was
hating on that movie.
It was great. I was literally sitting in the parking lot with tears, just laughing and doing this. But
I loved it.
And I also want to give a shout out to another Red 5 family member, and that would be the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. You guys, I'm telling you right now, if you have any love at all for Westerns at all, they were just released today. And I'm telling major kudos, General. That was a fantastic episode.
I did listen to that after this.
I did listen today.
Yeah, you, Frank, and Ro, all three, you guys killed it. You killed it. It was a great time.
And Ro's editing. Ro's editing.
Hey, the other half of
the other Josh.
Now we have the Council of Joshes in the chat.
The better Josh. He says he's digging the hat, Shanty.
Oh, thank you.
So, and then my last shout out is to a friend of Red 5. They're not actually part of the Red 5 network, and that is the Nightlight Horror Movie Club. I always get their name is like a tongue twister to me. Today they released an episode. It's one of their short episodes where and today they covered a true crime story that was so unnerving. If you like to have a twister, a mystery, and a plot, and hear two young ladies who are sisters who are absolutely hilarious with one another, check them out. It's the Nightlight Horror Movie Club. They're fantastic, and I'm telling you, their stuff is funny because one of them loves horror, the other one hates it. So you get it from both the point of view, and the one who hates horror is addicted to true crime, and the one who likes horror hates it. So
that's interesting. That's gotta be interesting. I've got to listen, man.
They're hilarious.
It was a fun episode.
It was a good one, wasn't it? I was listening to it going, holy crap. I immediately copied it and sent it to the Red 5 group and said, you guys got to listen to this. This is awesome.
Do it.
Do it. Or as the general, or as the emperor would say, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
One of the many gifts that I love.
Did you see what Josh said to you?
Yes,
Shanty?
you should see my response.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Love the black flame candle. That
Black
is
flame.
so awesome.
Wait. And her response was, so everyone is, thank you better, Josh.
Wait. Hold on. Let's talk about the black flame candle because I gotta tell you, Disney, that's some salacious shit because I think I remember specifically asking my parents, what's a virgin? I was a kid.
Yeah.
They were mortified at that question.
They really dug that in too. Like it got mentioned many times.
Drove the virginity aspect. Even at the very end, it's like the last line of the movie. I had to wait how many hundred years for a virgin to light the candle. I'm like, damn, man, they really want to get that out there that this guy was not getting any.
The funny part about that is when you said your parents were mortified when one of my kids said that to me, I started laughing.
My parents too. My parents thought it was hilarious.
I'm 17, so I already knew what that meant.
They're
was like 5
things.
Hold on a second, Josh, Care Bear, my Sith friend.
Come on,
please don't have your feelings hurt. You don't have to be quiet. Step
Come
up,
on,
let her rip, baby.
Come on, Care Bear.
I'm not apologizing.
Oh my God, yes. And then, honestly, the cat getting run over, I'm like, God, that's kind of morbid now when I think about it. Like, they squished him. And then the crack. And I'm like, oh. That's
pretty neat trick, though.
It wasn't
neat. I liked it.
It was a neat trick. Yep.
Josh,
but it was balanced because to me, Billy wasn't scared. Now, I know he was scared of you. But to me, Billy wasn't a scary zombie. I never thought he was. But when he cut his mouth, oh my God.
Well, I thought that was really cool.
Me as a kid.
Well,
yeah, you kind of.
It was just
and his head being like lopped off. That was the other one that used to get me as a kid.
What'd you start to say, Zori? I'm sorry, Belzora.
No, but what were you gonna say?
Me? Yes. When he cut his mouth, it was just the stitching that that what's her name? That Winnie used to sew up his mouth shut. So he wasn't actually cutting his mouth; it was just the stitching.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for those of you who are in the chat room who don't know this, when he cut that and and the powder and the moths,
that was real.
Those were live moths that he had in his mouth, and he poofed the smoke out, or not smoke, but powder, so that and let the moths. So the
props to Doug Jones.
Yeah, props.
Who I did not even know was Billy. I had this conversation with Chantal that I had no idea that was Doug Jones.
Yes. Oh my God.
Knowing how much I came later to love Doug Jones and the roles he's played, I had no idea he was Billy.
So the chat room keeps saying that this movie has so many great quotable lines in it. Give me some. What do you guys think? Give me some lines from the movie that you think is so superb and quotable.
I mean, my sister and I used to
he's lost his head.
All right, I'll give you.
I guess a muck. That's always a very popular one that people.
Muck. Yep. I smell children. I'm sorry that may sound weird.
Are we going to have to kick you off the channel, young lady?
I'm sorry.
My sister and I used to yell at each other, Thackeray, Thackeray Binks. We used to make fun of the little girl, like, enough already out of you.
Thackeray Binks, don't make me come find you. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, don't get me wrong. I love this movie, but it's not safe for me poking some fun at it when I do watch it. I mean,
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I do that with every movie. And I'm sorry to everybody. I do it with Star Wars too.
Oh, book.
Oh, yeah.
A book.
What a glorious morning. Makes me sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yep. That's
what did they say when they walked up to the school? It's a prison.
It's
for children.
And
I'm like, damn, if that ain't true. I said,
wow,
damn,
that
that's
so
more relevant
true.
now than it ever was.
I will say that I
damn
thought
right on that.
locking them in the boiler and turning it on, I thought was really a fun scene.
Yep. I enjoyed that.
Of course, they gave absolutely zero reasoning for why the green smoke all collided back together and they got back together, but whatever. I thought, I was loving the fact that they were getting torched at that point. I was like,
and they're like, oh my God.
I thought the movie was over.
I was like, yay! Boo!
Nope.
Nope.
Here to come back.
I was like, that's a fun ending. It was awful quick. I didn't really resolve a lot, but I like it. I can now go watch something more scary.
Again, though, this movie is still kind of morbid in certain scenes. I just
It really
realized,
was.
like the beginning with them being hanged, like that's a lot for a kid's movie, in my personal opinion. I mean, and they don't show anything, obviously.
Right.
No,
But
but
still, seeing their feet dangling, I when I see that as an adult now, when I'm looking at it through adult eyes, I'm like, that's a
or the withered corpse of Emily.
Yes.
You see her in the chair.
see how
Like,
that can be a
man,
bit
that's a little
much. Maybe.
Dead man's toes.
Dead man's toes. Dead man's toes.
Dead man's toes. No,
I
it's
love
not. It's
this
something else.
movie.
Hush, I'm sorry. Dead man's toes is the stupidest one. Although I don't even know if she's the stupidest one of the three. Her and the middle one.
I love when
Opinion,
they get back to the house later on, and Bette Midler's like, "Sarah, you were over there dancing idiotically."
she's just like, she's like a hippie flower child.
No,
If
Like
she-
I
I'm sorry.
said,
I think
give her
Sarah
as
Jessica
much
Parker's so
cocaine
funny.
as she can handle.
Yeah, I think
Right?
she's
Like if
so
she didn't
funny in
eat
this
kids, if she didn't eat kids or want to, suck the life out of them, she'd probably been a hippie.
movie. Oh man.
She was a hippie anyway.
Well, that's true. So she wasn't too far removed from,
sorry.
kind of who she was.
Yep.
Freaking love this movie. Freaking love this movie.
I have
The two idiots. Ice. Oh my God. That's so
I told you, my name's not whatever. It's
It's
ice.
Ice.
It's ice.
My
Oh,
name's Ernie no more.
this
This is ice.
me and ice, and I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. Here we go.
Hollywood. Oh my God, this movie.
And this is what I thought was going to happen right here.
Oh, I'm like, y'all dumb. And then they're still in the damn cages at the end. I'm like, actually, good for y'all. Y'all are stupid. Y'all deserve
I
to
am
get
going to
every
have to
bit.
say this. Dragon Buddy, I'm going to have to adopt this one.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
the greatest
Yes,
movie
that's a
of the
great
whole
one.
movie.
Yes.
I probably say that sometimes to myself in the mornings where I'm like, oh God, I got to clock in. Ugh.
Well, that's the one thing I do like about my current position. I don't have to clock in. I show up, I do my job, I go home.
Good.
The problem is I don't know when I get to go home most of the time. It's either somewhere between 4 and 5 o'clock. So, and I have to get up at 5 a.m. So,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
then there's the drive.
Trade-off.
Yay. We all have agreed that while we're not a big fan of Bette Midler, her role was great.
Yeah.
I think that
Definitely.
each of the witches themselves did a good job for the role they were in.
Mhm.
I'm really, really glad that Rosie O'Donnell turned the part down.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, oh God, thank you, Jesus.
Because I'm going to
Oh.
tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, had she been on this show, between her and the other two, who will no longer be named because I've called their names a lot, using them in bad terms, you couldn't have paid me enough money to sit and watch that. you would have had to strap me to a chair and tie my eyes open like this.
Well,
Oh my
you couldn't
God.
have had two loud mouths between Bette Midler and Rosie O'Donnell. That would not have worked.
There's no way.
That would
It's
not
two
have
big,
worked.
strong personalities.
Would not have worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
good.
And it's funny because they're all idiots. That's the funny thing.
All
All
three of
three of them are
All
idiots.
dumb.
But Winnie got a narcissistic complex and thinks she's the smart one. No, but you. I mean, excuse me.
Ooh.
No, you dumb.
She's a
Not even I've
Capricorn.
been good.
Hold on a second. Zori,
Yes.
you have my permission to say bitch if you want to.
Okay, nah, bitch, you dumb. Okay. There you go. You just as dumb as the other two.
Wait a
You
minute.
might be a little bit.
Cage fight. Dragon Buddy's got it
Oh,
right there.
jeez.
Oh Lord.
God.
They wouldn't have been
I
able
would
to
be
get the movie
confused on
made,
this.
Dragon Buddy. They would never got that damn movie
He's
made.
saying
Hi,
let them
Lunar.
fight. I'm thinking put them in a cage and we'll all make a ton of money on that one.
Celebrity death match. Celebrity
Oh,
death match.
celebrity
Let's
death
get it
match.
on.
Best. Oh, that was the best.
Wait a minute. Oh, let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, I paid to see that one.
Fire.
That would be awesome.
That's a cage match there.
That would be awesome. I would be like, you'd have to have one of them doing Ric Flair up there.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! Woo!
Sorry, I get a little carried away.
And that's okay. My husband and my son used to do that to each other. They used to slap each other across the chest and woo!
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, yeah.
And this is why I say we've got the greatest chat room.
Oh, we
on
do.
the internet.
Yeah, I love doing that.
That would be worth the
I love
Thunderdome.
TV.
Yes, it would.
Oh. So, while we've got everyone in the chat room and while I've got all my esteemed guests here, next Thursday night is going to be a big show. We've got a bunch of people who are wanting to hop in for the show. It is 2 days before All Hallowed Eve. We are going to be doing our tribute to Halloween. We're going to be talking about John Carpenter's number 1. We're going to be talking about 2014, and we're going to be talking about the newest Halloween Kills. So basically the current timeline, and anything else that we can think that's Michael Myers and or Halloween related. So next Thursday night is going to be a big one. I've got several people who are wanting to guest, and if that means that we have to bring them on 1 or 2 at a time or 3 at a time or whatever it takes to get all 10 of us in here or whoever's going to be here, it's going to be a panel night. And we will go as long as the chat allows us. So it's going to be a fun time.
I will be in the chat for that one, definitely.
It's going to be a good one.
So I just held it together, but I'm not used to wearing contacts, and I literally just did this to push my glasses up. There.
I do that.
You're like phantom glass. See, I do it all the time. It's like a habit, a fidget
Have a
habit.
great
I
night,
know.
Scott. I do
Oh
hope
my
you're feeling
god.
better,
Well, my
friend.
glasses are always sliding down, so I'm used to constantly pushing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I haven't worn contacts in like a year.
I don't wear contacts
Oh, lucky you.
ever. No, I don't have I used to have great eyesight until about 5 years ago, and it's quickly declined.
5 years ago. Mine went to shit when I was 10.
Oh, yeah, thank you, 11.
Yeah.
I
11.
was in elementary
Astigmatism?
school when I.
Oh, not as bad as
when
my
I had to
sister.
start-
2.
Elementary. I think that's
Oh,
when
hell,
that's when
rough.
Maureen had
It
to
is
start
rough.
getting hers. I'm pretty sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
kindergarten to be
Oh, God, I have a
specific.
So you were like my sister. Yeah.
Astigmatism, it's
Yeah.
bad. I don't qualify for any kind of eye corrective surgery. I'm
Wow.
just screwed.
My whole family's blind. My parents
Honestly,
all, like,
the
we're all
only
blind.
thing that would correct my vision is to have like what you do with cataract surgery and replace my lenses in my eye. Like that's it.
My ex,
Even though I don't have cataracts, that's the
Yeah.
only thing that would correct my vision.
That just sounds.
No thanks.
And it's
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not
wear
doing
my-
any surgery. You're not coming near my eye.
I am supposed to wear glasses more than I do. But I'm telling you, contacts for me, the mere thought of putting something in my eye, just I can do a lot of things.
you
I
know,
don't think I can do
The
that.
first time I ever did it, I thought it was going to be a big deal, and it really wasn't that bad. But I understand how that can be a little.
Some people have a
Frightening?
real thing
It's
with
very
the
frightening.
eye.
Yeah,
that-
it
yeah,
scares
It
me.
sucks until you get used to it, but once
Yeah.
you get used to it, it's fine.
I wore them for a while, but they just made my eyes so dry. No matter what I wore, kind of, and I'm like, they're so uncomfortable.
I love where this conversation has gone.
You know.
Well, it falls off the rail.
Oasis, by the way. Shout out.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, hold a minute. And if you need contacts, AccuView Oasis is the way to go.
And if you're as blind as me, you can expect to spend over $500 or more for glasses and lenses.
AccuView sponsor us.
Please.
Oh yeah, sponsors.
They're really great.
Yes, I if I'm not mistaken, that's what my wife wears as well.
They're comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tweet about this and see if we get their attention.
I'll retweet.
You really need to watch the show. We just went on an impromptu praise of
Do it. We was like
Focus, half tribute to AccuView. I love it.
Right? That's how we roll.
And the thing is we have no clue how we got there. We just got there.
No, you have to go back and watch.
I don't think I can even trace us back now.
That was like our thread this morning, Belzora.
So we're going to try to steer the ship.
Yeah, yesterday. Oh my god, I went off the rails.
Well, see, here's the thing. You know, I told you guys this. I'm borrowing this from someone. Our rails are just painted in the dirt. There's nothing to hold us there. So Hocus Pocus, we've come to the conclusion. I think we've come to the conclusion that I'm right and that it's pretty much mostly nostalgia, but that's okay because I saw her. I have movies that I'm nostalgic over,
of course, and
that I'm sure that no one else would really like if they was to look at them now. So I understand. I mean, and like someone in the chat has said, and you ladies have said also, yes, there's nostalgia involved, but it is a silly, fun time. And so I get that. So keeping in the Halloween theme, you've mentioned a couple of other movies that you feel do kind of the same thing for you, Chantal. I think you mentioned Teenage Witch. Teen Witch.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Was it kind of because I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've seen it, and it's maybe one that I have seen.
I think it's from 1988. It's Robin Lively, and it's not really a musical, but there's music in it that, like, I don't know why, but I think it's the 80s, man. I don't know what to tell you.
It's the 80s, man.
No, it is, because it is so late 80s. But I love that movie. It's corny. I'm sure it hasn't really held up well, but I think it's a really fun movie.
Okay.
She discovers she has powers, and she finds an amulet in the school, and she ends up finding, what's her name? Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist.
Uh-huh.
She's also a witch. They find each other. She reads her palm, and she ends up seeing, oh my God, it's a great, I love that movie. Yep. I really do.
Fun. Again, another good nostalgic fun time. What about you, Belzora? Do you have another one that you know in your heart of hearts is a good nostalgic movie, and no matter what anyone else says, you're going to be like, yes, I love this movie?
Does it have to be specifically related to the Halloween season or spooky
not necessarily?
Season? Okay. Darkness Falls for sure. 100% for me. It's nostalgia. But here's the thing. So I get what you mean by Hocus Pocus is nostalgia for most people. But I know nostalgia. There are so many movies that are pure nostalgia for me, and that's not one of them. I can watch it now and feel exactly the amount of enjoyment that I've always felt. Mm-hmm. And even I think for me, if I were to put on the adult blinders and just watch with adult eyes, not having any previous experience with it, I would still love it. But that's just me. But anyway, okay. Darkness Falls.
Okay. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. What about you, Zori?
It's a very bad movie, I think. But I watched it all the time with my teenage friends. Night of the Demons.
It's
yes.
a great movie.
And it's a great movie. It is a great movie. It's a Tales from the Crypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, great movie.
Well, it might be like considered though like bad, but to me it's like it's good.
Well, I've got one for. Okay, go ahead, Belzora.
Wait,
Night of
Demon
Demons.
Night with Billy Zane or Night of the Demons, the 80s movie with Linnea Quigley?
That's the 80s movie, but Demon Night, yes. Demon Night, sorry. I was thinking different. But no, Night of the Demons is the 80s movie that sucks, but it's good to me.
Jeez.
Demon Night can also be considered sucky, depending on who you're asking, but I love it too.
So,
but hell, I still watch The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So what the hell?
Thank you.
Judge am I?
You should.
Charlie Brown's an asshole, but I love it. It's great.
Oh, God, I watched freaking The Great Pumpkin. I watch all the freaking Rudolph the Red. I watch all this
Why
stuff.
is Charlie Brown the asshole?
Okay, so that
isn't it Lucy?
Yeah,
was
Lucy's
going-
it's all the other kids dumping on Charlie Brown.
Hold on.
Assholes.
Hold on. This is an inside joke between me and my wife, for one. And two, I want you to do some research on the guy who did the voice for Charlie Brown. Come back to me in a week and tell me if I'm not right.
Okay.
That's the person playing Charlie Brown, not Charlie Brown himself.
He's a dick. Anyway, for me, I was just saying that.
He's a
dick.
Oh my God.
My nostalgia movies. I actually have in the horror genre. I have two of them. Bordello of Blood, which is a horrible movie that I absolutely love. But my favorite, and I can sit down and watch it at any time. Matter of fact, I've watched it recently, is John Carpenter's They Live.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Yes.
It's horrible. Roddy Piper is not an actor at all. It's horrible.
The effects aren't that great.
It's so fun.
But it's so good. I posted a meme about, that with He Who Should Not Be Named that owns the book. And the other day, and, he had his glasses on. He's like, oh, yeah.
I love guilty pleasure movies.
Oh, they're great.
They are great.
Right? Well, that's for the same reason that I like Night of the Demons. The effects suck. The story's not that great. None of these people know how to act, but what? Hey.
That was the
fun.
80s,
It's fun, though. It's pure.
They had two scenes in it that made the movie just, I would sit and watch it just to get to those two scenes. One is the
9 nut shots in a fight.
Yeah, is indeed the alleyway fight, which is actually at one point in time was rated as one of the best movie fights
I
ever.
love your snorting.
And it's great. Dragon Buddy, I love you, man. If you were here right now, I'd give you a big hug for that one. And
I caught that. I'm sorry.
And the bank scene, when he walks into the bank and pulls that I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I am all out of bubble gum. It makes it all worthwhile.
And knowing how I know Roddy Piper from the WWF, and then it became that's hilarious.
Oh no, I've been watching Roddy Piper since Georgia Championship Wrestling before there was such a thing as WWF.
I loved him. I did, and you're right. He makes the movie. I'm sorry, he does.
Oh, he's great. He's great, and I'm so sorry, but I can't remember his name. But the actor that he fought in the alley, who was his best friend in the movie, he's great also. He's been great in a lot of things that he's been in. And I wish I could remember his name. I can't remember.
Dragon Buddy said, I'm sorry I broke Zori.
No, it's okay. We like it.
It just really got me.
Two people in the chat room have finally agreed with me over something.
Yeah, but look who's agreeing with you.
It doesn't matter. Hey,
oh God,
leave him alone. He's part of the council of Josh's. You leave him alone.
Council.
I love it. I love her and Josh dig on it. I love it.
Oh, you guys are killing me tonight.
So easy.
They roast each other so bad. It's so good.
Add me to that list.
You needed that? Are you ready? He's kind of like a big old booger. He's easy to pick on. I had to break out the Southern voice for that one.
You sounded like Ted Lasso.
You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't even have to break it out.
Yeah, this is true.
I could just say he's like a big old booger. He's easy to pick on, and that's natural for me.
There you go.
But if you said it, you'd have to follow it up with "bless his heart."
I know. Bless his heart. Oh, honey child, sweet thing. Bless your heart.
That's enough. That's enough.
Shout out to Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I've started watching that, and so far I'm like 3 episodes in. I really enjoy it. Hector, Mama says life is like a box of chocolates.
What an overrated movie.
God, that Alabama accent is not good.
No,
I loved it, but I agree with you. It was definitely
not one of my favorites. Not one, and I love Tom Hanks, and that is not one of my favorites.
Look who hopped in.
I agree.
Stefan.
It's the
Hello.
It's the goat. That is the goat.
Stefan, you've missed it, man. They've been trying their best to convince me that
Thank
this is
you,
a good
Stefan.
movie. And
I knew I liked you better. I'm joking, Alan. I love
taking
you.
applications for.
Oh no!
I'm trying to make them convince me it's more than just nostalgia, because at this point in time, everything they've said to me is it brings back feelings that I had when I was a kid.
Not
It
necessarily
doesn't bring
for
those
me,
feelings
actually.
back for me.
Yeah, I don't.
Those feelings are always there. It just heightens them.
I don't feel like I don't feel like it takes me back to a place in my it doesn't pinpoint a place in my childhood for me. I really just genuinely like the movie. The only thing that it ever brings a memory back for me is when I was scared shitless of Billy and I ran away during a party that was playing the movie, and that's really about it. I just genuinely liked the movie.
Well, good.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
I think I said that the music still held up. I think I said the music, like the intro
overall.
music, it still held up. Watching it, I'm like, I didn't even think about that it was, came out in 1993 or whatever.
Yeah, movie's old.
And I said, this could kind of be any. I thought it still held up.
It's a good sound.
Chantal,
what did I do?
There are also people out there that like The Last Jedi.
Well, they can't be helped.
I like the fact that you were like, I can't believe you said that in your mind.
There's at least one fan for everything.
No, it's true. And I'm not going to knock anybody for it in the same way I'm not giving, him shit for not liking this movie. It is what it is.
Well, it's like,
but at least it's good to know your son is smart. I mean, he likes the movie.
Well, it's like I said, I didn't hate it.
No, you didn't. And I'm glad you didn't hate it. And even if you did hate it, that's fine. That's your opinion.
And if Stefan were here right now and he'd say, Dad, I really want to watch this, I'd go, okay, let's watch it. And then I'd make myself a very, very tall tequila and work my way through it.
Listen, you would. You'd be like, plenty of movies that people love that I don't like. Full disclosure, I don't like Top Gun. I don't see what the big freaking deal is with that movie, to tell you the truth.
I don't see what the big
deal
is.
I'm sure a lot of people would smack me for that, but
I'd rather watch Hot Shots. Part 1 and 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. I'd rather watch those.
Hot Shots is hilarious.
Yes. So I do have to make one confession to you guys. In hopes of proving myself wrong. I really did go into this when I watched it and like tried to scrub off all the forethought that I had. Because I've told you that, when I'm watching a movie for the show, the first time I watch it, I try to watch it just as a viewer, not as a podcaster, to take it in for what it is. And that's what I purposely did on this one. That's the reason I said when I walked away from it, I didn't go, okay, I'm surprised. I was surprised going, well, I didn't hate that. I thought I was going to hate that. And then I went, I don't say I liked it, but it wasn't bad. It's not like, it's not like, I'm angry that I said I had to sit down and watch it for the podcast, which I was angry that I was going to have to sit down and watch for the podcast before I actually watched it. But no, it's good. I mean, and I've been really giving you guys a hard time about it tonight because I thought
I don't think you have, honestly.
Well, I keep trying to question you on it because I think if I didn't, we'd just be sitting here quoting the movie all night.
Nah,
And
we
remember, I'm
appreciate
also
the
critiquing
other point of
it
view.
from the fact that it's a kids movie. I'm not looking at this like, that this was made for adults. So I kind of have to put
Mhm.
that in my head. Like, I do need to look at this from the perspective of a child and maybe a parent who wants to watch this with their kid. And when you look at it from that perspective, I think it's a great kids movie because
Yep.
Halloween can be very scary. And it's nice to have something that gets the kids into the holiday because it's my favorite holiday, and Halloween gets dumped on a lot. So I say whatever gets the kids into it, I'm all for it.
I'm seriously thinking about celebrating Halloween on Halloween night and on Christmas Day.
Cool.
Do it.
I like that.
Just because I don't want to have to.
I would like to do a Nightmare Before Christmas tree this year.
I just don't want to have to deal with Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, I think once again, Chantal and I were having that discussion. We are Belzora. It's just so
over commercialized.
It is, which is why I like Halloween, because yes, it's commercialized in some ways, but
it's not about gifts and stuff like
that.
No,
it's about the spooky and the decoration.
Again, I don't celebrate Christmas for what you're supposed to. Well, yeah.
It's got its niche and
Christmas
it stays there and
September.
It's good. It's ridiculous. I hate that. There's no magic to it when you do that.
When I was a kid, I knew it was Christmas time when and again, I'm going to talk about something you guys probably don't know. There may be one or two people in the chat that have some reference to it, but I remember seeing the Norelco Santa on the TV commercial and thinking, okay, now it's Christmas.
We've got to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
I remember that.
And now it's literally my wife and I were in the store the other day to look for Halloween stuff, and I'm walking around.
Shit out already.
I was just at Macy's and I'm going down the escalator. I already see 3 Christmas trees on display lit up, and I said, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?"
Now, what would be cool?
That's
see. Here's the thing. Okay, first of all, I need to say this out loud. I need you guys to understand because I don't want there to be any misunderstanding whatsoever.
Preach
it. What?
I'm liable to preach if you let me.
Go.
I am a firm believer in what Christmas stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I will never be a believer in where Christmas has been taken.
Right.
Okay.
And you
Makes sense.
You heard the words that I purposely chose.
Yes.
Take it. Let's drop this subject, or else I'm liable to start preaching.
I like the chaos.
Hey, right?
I love this. Hold on. You ready? Dragon Buddy, I love you. Again, if you were here, big hugs, man. I'm more pushed into needing a 15-foot tall skeleton from Home Depot at Halloween than a blow-up Christmas tree at Christmas. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure for Christmas doesn't come from within my house or anything, and we're definitely not materialistic people insofar as gifts or whatever. I mean, we rarely need anything. My son at 15 is like, I don't care.
We've stopped.
Yeah,
in my
we don't.
Family. We're like, listen, you girls, because they still call us girls, but they're like, listen, you and your sister are 35 and 32 years old. You both, are self-sufficient, and now at this point, it literally just becomes an exchange, literally of just money. At this point, is what it is. So it becomes irrelevant. It becomes stupid. And like you said, look, I respect you, obviously, Alan. I don't celebrate for the reason that you celebrate it for anymore, but I'm just not religious anymore for my own personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, this whole elf on a shelf bullshit.
Oh, hell no. I'm glad I never started that shit.
Like, this has nothing to do with what you should be celebrating Christmas. And then what I find even more funny, you're literally telling children a lie. You're literally telling children a lie.
Well,
when you should be celebrating that, and you're telling them a lie about Santa, and you are making it about the gifts, and then people complain about the hubbub, but you as a society have created this.
I tell you what, let's postpone this conversation because we're walking on really rough ground.
That episode.
But that'll be part of our this can be part of our.
Oh, I love Scrooge movies.
Let's do a Scrooge episode.
Roll with that in Christmas season.
And we could also do a what does this season mean to you?
A Bob Humbug episode.
I also want to do an episode of movies that are Christmas movies that aren't.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Scream.
Krampus. Oh, can we talk about Krampus?
Krampus.
I love
Oh,
Krampus.
freaking
Right?
Christ, yes,
So
Christmas.
Awesome.
Christmas movies that
Love
aren't.
that movie.
But I think that's gonna be a fun.
Okay,
title.
now I love this
Gremlins.
movie. I love this movie very much, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but when you really think about it and boil it down to it, and it is like the quintessential Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life really isn't a Christmas movie when you think about it.
Yeah.
You don't even see Christmas literally until like the last half hour of the movie. So yeah, that'd be a great topic.
Home Alone. Home Alone is
Yeah,
not a Christmas movie.
technically, yeah.
It
Well,
takes place over the Christmas
It's
holiday.
taking
but
place
it's not
over
a
the
Christmas
holiday,
movie.
but it's technically not until the very end.
Can I throw
Yes.
in that I think
Yes.
this Hawkeye series that's coming out for Marvel is kind of gonna be like a Christmassy kind of thing, but it's not Christmas.
Christmas, but
Okay.
not Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas movies that aren't. I think that's I think that'll be a fun show to do. And I also
Spring.
want to do a Kurt Russell movie. Kurt Russell.
Oh, I don't blame you because come on now. I mean,
I
but
love
how do you even pick? I mean, really.
That's simple. We have one called Kurt Russell's greatest beard ever, which is the thing, and then we put Kurt Russell's greatest mustache ever, which was Tombstone. And I honestly believe that in both cases, those two items should have been credited as their own individual actor. Kurt Russell's mustache, Kurt Russell's beard, right? Because man, they were great. Oh, they were great. I saw
like
that
his
beard
Disney
and I'm like,
movies.
I'm jealous. Oh, I did too.
The strongest man alive.
So
The computer
here's
who wore tennis shoes.
here's something that a lot of people didn't know.
Yep, Josh.
Big
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Big Trouble in
Captain
Little China.
Ron.
Wait a minute. Big Trouble in Little China is also a John Carpenter movie.
That's right.
Yeah, so you can't hardly have one without talking about
Overboard. I love Overboard.
Yes.
Yes, Luna Girl. I love Scrooged. I remember seeing that in theater.
Oh, I love National
I-
And hell, I'm always going to love a National Lampoon movie.
Yeah.
I
Come
think
on
that
now.
that's probably my favorite Christmas movie ever.
National Lampoon.
Yeah.
We're going to be the jolliest society.
Yeah. And the reason being is because you've seen it so many times, you know what's coming, and you're
Yeah.
It
still
doesn't
laughing.
matter. It's still funny.
Oh God, it's great.
And you can't help feel bad for Chevy Chase.
And if it's not the
single
representation
time.
Which
of
is-
what Christmas can be when it's
Right.
too much commercialized and when it's the app, oh God, it's so
I
great.
think it's perfect because it actually points the light to exactly what Christmas has become, and that's what makes it so funny. But when he said, "No, thank you, Clark. The only thing between me and the ground is a piece of government plastic," I about fell out of my chair. I put a
great
dent in that.
movie.
My part will never be right again. Oh my God.
Oh, let's stop this. I feel bad. We've done exactly what we don't want to do, which is take the spotlight away from Halloween.
But we're still kind of dipping on why Christmas,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's hop off that. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my friend. See, I'm learning down here in the corner.
I know. I'm
He's
so
better than I am. I get it wrong every.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to my friend down here in the corner, Belzora. What is it that makes Halloween special to you?
Well, I think people would be real quick to jump on the fact that my birthday is 2 days before it, but I don't know. I think I was aware of Halloween before I was aware of my birthday being 2 days before it. So I think just the fact that I've always been attracted to darker sort of things. I never cared about being like a princess or like anything pink and sparkly for Halloween. I always wanted to be a vampire or a witch or something spooky. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling it has something to do with childhood trauma. And I don't say that in like a deep, dark way. I just mean that I saw The Exorcist. That was my debut into horror.
I'm so sorry.
At the age
God,
of
her and I are
3.
so alike. Jesus.
And actually, I have a fun story about that.
I saw it before I was 10.
I don't want to bore you with the details, but
Oh
basically,
my God.
I made my
Me
mom
too, Dee Dee.
sick of that movie because I wanted to watch it so often. So I think it just has to do with, I don't know, some weird brain chemistry or something. I don't know. It's just,
Don't
I
say
like
it
it.
like that. I love
I don't
this
mean
about
it in
you.
that way.
Yeah, no, please own it because I love it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just love it. There's no reason.
I wish I was a
with you.
Halloween baby.
I'm with you. So Zori, what about you? Is there something special about the season that makes you love it so much?
Well, I grew up watching horror movies before I would even really remember Christmas movies. To be fair, I grew up watching, Halloween killer slasher movies. I grew up watching, horror movies, and I just remember I always loved fall too. Yep. And so Halloween always fell in that sweet spot when I was younger, where I could still remember trick-or-treating and smelling the leaves. And it was usually chilly. It isn't always that way now, but it was usually chilly. And if it rained, it just had that smell. And I lived in a small town. Everybody gave out candy. But I loved the spookiness of it all. And I loved all of that. And I still do. And like I said, that's my memory before anything Christmas related. And I lived in a house too that was a little spooky, so it was kind of funny that it just all gels together. And I still think about that. I live in Arizona, and we don't really have fall now, but I can still smell in my mind. I can still recall that smell of fall and what it's like to have it be a little breezy and walk the sidewalks of this small town and go house to house and knock on the door and wear whatever you wanted to wear, your favorite costume, and just have that night. It was so fun.
And become someone else.
Yes. And all like that. And that's back when school celebrated it too. Like school also played it up for that whole week. And it was and it was okay back then. But you just went all in, and it was great. I just loved it. So
what about you? What about you, Miss Chantal? Which Chantal? What is your favorite thing about the holiday?
For me, as I'm sure you can already tell where my response is going to go, and as the actress in me, I'm all about the costume. I'm all about the costume. I do like the thought of, and that also comes with my own self-consciousness, I do like that thought of being somebody else, because I can tell you right now, wearing this, I feel like a completely different person, and I love it. So that's why I love it. And not only that, but I myself have always been kind of a morbid person. So for me, this has just always fascinated me. And I think a lot of that has to come with, I'm glad that I am of the certain generation that I'm at, because my parents loved going to the theater, and they still do. They love the movies. And at the time that I was a kid, Tim Burton was a really huge deal in the late 80s and early 90s. And my parents watched all of his movies. They were always on in the house. I remember seeing Beetlejuice on TV, seeing Edward Scissorhands on TV, Frankenweenie. The macabre has always been around me. So then
he's awesome.
Yeah. So then I love Frankenweenie. God, I used to love that. And then Frankenstein, it's always been around. It's always piqued my interest. And again, the whole costume thing, I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And the candy.
Yep.
Of course.
All those old wonderful black and white movies of Dracula.
Listen, I was still trick-or-treating in high school, and I'll never forget when I went to one of the houses in my neighborhood, and the woman looked at me and she's like, aren't you a little old for trick-or-treat? And I said, you're never too old to collect free candy. And she said, you know what? You're right. And she gave me an extra piece of candy.
Thank you. Otherwise, she's going to get her house full of paper.
Good answer.
That's absolutely correct. It's funny that you say candy.
Candy.
I love, now that I'm older and I'm not, allowed to go trick or treating. I love to give out candy.
Me too.
I love to turn on the colored lights and put on the spooky music and, get dressed in something that's not too intimidating or scary. So the little kids will come up and, me being me. I'm like, I'm smiling and I'm like, oh, I love your costume, but I make them say trick or treat or else they don't get a piece of candy, and I don't care how old they are.
Yeah, no, they have to say trick or treat.
Yeah, the high schoolers that are coming wearing their football uniform, I still make them say trick or treat or else I don't give them any candy.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, and I give anybody that comes to my door candy.
Yep.
Anybody.
I offer the parents candy, and I do the same thing. But
yeah, it doesn't
so there's that part of it. like you guys, I grew up, Zori. I'm a 1980s teenager, so I remember, going to the theaters to see some of the early Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Streets and things like that. I mean, I loved those, but I think I have to give credit to my horror movie fanaticism to actually my second eldest brother, who was funny. Looking back on it, it's a lot different than when I saw it as a kid, because as a kid I was like, okay, he's inviting me to watch these movies with him, and he whatever. Well, now looking back on it, I realized that every time it got to be something scary, he would get up and leave the room.
Oh my God.
But watching the serial Salem's Lot on TV, which to this day still scares the living out of me because of nostalgia, because of how bad it scared me as a kid. And it got me hooked. So I'm going to tell a story, and I might get in trouble for telling this. So the names will have been changed so as not to get me in too much trouble. Watched The Exorcist when they were very, very young, sitting on their father's lap, young. Got scared in the middle of the night, climbed in bed next to mom. Mom started snoring. Could have sworn mom was being possessed by demons and didn't sleep a drop that night. And that in itself is why this person doesn't watch scary movies anymore. It scared her that bad. So,
Wow,
and being raised, we talked about that previously, that The Exorcist has a much more profound effect on people who are raised in certain, well, not just Catholic.
No, not just that, but yes. No, I'm saying I was raised
religion.
Catholic. So for me, that's why.
If you're raised in any kind of deeply religious household,
oh man, that's why
that whole demon, that whole devil God thing.
Well, any fundamental household, I will say. So, so that's that, and then there's there's also the psychological part of Halloween. I want to leave who I am behind to become someone bigger, scarier, stronger. Even if it's for a night, that I think that's it's a wonderful treat. It's funny that you said,
what do you think? I wish I was a witch.
General, not just that, just how you said that, knowing the fact that you're a little intimidated by the camera, and how you literally said, I feel like someone else, and you had a lilt to your voice that said, I am, that this hat makes me strong.
Oh, this bitch means business.
And I was like, yes.
Oh, I feel supernatural right now. I'm sure it shows.
Well, and I just said, that is what Halloween is all about. That's the essence of why we love it, because it allows us to put our primal us, which none of us are happy with, let's face it, none of us are, and become someone else who can handle the things that we can't.
I would argue it brings out the real us in a way, almost.
I think sometimes it can allow us. It can allow us to put on I don't want to say the real us. I'll say it allows us,
without being judged.
Allows us to put on the facade of who we want to be without the fear of being judged.
Right.
Yeah, who we wish we could be if society didn't suck so bad.
There you go. Amen, sister.
That's not looking good for me then.
All right. All right, ladies, do you have anything else you'd like to add to tonight's chat? I think we ended on a very philosophical, we got fun note.
We did. I think this whole thing was good and fun. Hey, if anybody watches this afterwards, y'all know y'all gonna love it.
I'm just really happy that, again, I would have been okay with it, because again, you're entitled to your own opinion. But I am, of course, very happy that you didn't end up hating the movie, Alan.
No,
I'm glad. I'm glad it wasn't torture.
Well, you know how I felt about it going in.
I know. That's why I'm very, very pleased.
Yeah, to walk away with it going, well, I didn't hate it. That's actually
good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. That makes me happy.
So Hector, I want to reply to him real quick before we sign off. Hector, I want you to know something really funny about this movie. Is that
Let me edit that out of me. That's great.
I was scared to death of this movie until I saw it. I think I told
yeah,
Chantal
it was the
this.
anticipation. Yeah.
Mhm.
The commercials had me scared. Everything about it had me scared. And when I saw it, I literally turned it off when it was done and went, huh. Oh well. And I went to bed. And I literally watched it by myself in the dark on purpose. And still was like, The Omen scared me worse. There was a certain dread to that movie. It really just felt very dreadful. Anyway,
Great movie.
Zori, you got anything coming up that we need to know about?
No, other than me and Miss Chantal there, we'll be meeting up here at November 1st. So that's good. We're going to be taking Disneyland by storm.
There you go.
Do not get me banned,
I promise I won't.
or we'll end this friendship real quick.
I promise.
Zori, I've got $20 with your name on it.
No, you don't.
I do not want Walt
And
haunting
promote the
my
chaos.
ass, all right?
No, I'm like a big kid, so I promise it'll be good.
And it's
you
her
go.
first trip ever, so this is a big deal.
Nice.
For me.
I've never been to Disney.
Disney
Neither
parks,
have I.
so this is a huge deal.
45. This is my 45 years old, my first trip to Disney.
And this is my first trip to Disneyland, so.
I think Stefan was 4 the last time I was at Disney, so that should tell you where I was
God,
about.
I was just
Yeah.
there
God,
in
that's been a
January.
long
I was there last January.
I actually at later we had a chance. I had a chance to take this and go back, and I actually decided to go to Universal instead and loved it.
Oh, Universal was great too.
But that was back when they still had the Kong ride.
Yeah, I can't believe they took out Confrontation. Let's not go there. Just
Well,
move
all
on.
I can say is this: that my youngest Cody spent about 3 months. That every once in a great while I'd tuck him in. He'd go, "I don't like that big monkey, Dad."
And they took away the Jaws. Okay, look, I can't believe I'm saying this.
I
know I shit on Jaws, but I can't believe they took away the Jaws ride. I love the Jaws ride at Universal. That was a great.
It was
freaking
great
ride.
All right, so Belzora, do you have anything coming up?
I go where I'm told to go, so just let me know what you have coming up.
Don't be surprised if
very
she's
loyal.
not. Don't be surprised she's not here talking about Halloween next week, because I'm pretty sure she said, "Ooh, me."
Yes, me.
Like I said, I'll be in the chat. I'll be Johnny on the spot in the chat for
I
that
don't
one.
know. I honestly have to go back and start going through all my notes because I can't remember. There's been a several people reach out, and I'm not exactly sure who.
Geez.
The more, the merrier, as far as I'm concerned, especially on
Popular
this one.
franchise.
It is.
Well, it is because
Very popular
there's
franchise.
not a whole lot scarier than William Shatner. So I'm gonna stick you two in the room. Hang on just a
Good
minute,
one.
okay? General. Hello. It has been a fantastic night tonight. You guys had me laughing so hard. I love it. Thank you so much.
Too. Love our guests.
Again, yes. Oh gosh, they're so good. Our guests are always fun. Even when it's Josh and Josh, we still have a really good time.
That's debatable.
I will now don't be mean to them.
No, I love the council of Josh's. It's all in good fun.
And it's really funny that I saw a couple people posting in the chat about how much they love this chat, and
it's a great chat, man.
We do have a great chat room, man. And I go watch a lot of people's podcasts and so forth, and their live streams, and man, I tell you what, ours is the best.
Yes,
ours is,
and I especially love DB.
They're all great. They're all great. So, is there what I know as we talked about earlier, Scarif had that the new drop today for the Westerns. Do you have anything else coming up?
What a fun episode that was. Like I said, I did listen to it today, and again, we have so many topics that we do that I keep telling we really are going to have to start doing part 2s because there's so many topics where we just barely scratch the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, we were going to try and record this weekend, but I kind of wanted to take a little break, and I'm watching Dune tomorrow. So I am out of commission tomorrow on Friday. I think we want to try and do a Tim Burton episode soon. I know I've been really pushing for that. And then next week, I believe we're dropping our special Halloween episode that we did with Andy.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, about ghosts.
Yeah, she's such a great guest.
She's a fantastic guest. Oh, so much energy. Every time she's on, I love doing the podcast with her. So that'll be fun. I can't wait because I love ghosts. Totally a believer. Totally a believer.
All I can say is if you guys ever get around to doing like The Thing or something like that, someone better be asking.
We'll call you.
Yeah,
I know how much you love that movie.
Oh, I'm pretty much John Carpenter's, and for the most part is my favorite director. He's a great director. Got 3 or 4 movies that are on my list. So
yeah,
guys and gals that are in the chat room still, again, thank you so much for coming. You've been great. If you wouldn't mind, right down here on the bottom of the screen. Okay, so close the live chat out for 1 second. No one's going to miss you. You're not going to be gone. Go a little bit to the left. All the cool kids at school hit the like button. So click the like button. Please. And the ones that really want to show off, they hit the subscribe button too. Leave us a comment, especially if you're watching this after the fact. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. If you have suggestions on how we can make it better, we want those too, because good news, bad news, whatever, we use it as an opportunity to learn. We actually really like to communicate with our people. So please reach out to us and we'll reach out back to you. Chantal, you want to sign us off tonight?
Sure. I'm gonna do it like this, covered up. You always have friends here, so grab a drink, your favorite snack, and always remember to press play.
Press play. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you. God bless. May the force be with you. Have a great night.